101 review. Book 101 is all about the books that I read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. Number one international best-selling author, an award-winning registered nutritional therapist, none other than Miss Alison Bladh.
Thank you so much for having me.
Welcome, Miss Allison on Book 101 Review. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I missed?
Yeah, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here today talking to you and your audience. My name's Alison Bladh. I am a registered nutritional therapist and I am also an esthetician, a beauty therapist as well. I very condensed version of my story. I started as a teenager with very bad skin. I had acne, which really led me down that road of my interest in hormones. I wanted to know what was going on and, what was happening in my skin. So I managed to really improve my own skin. And then I studied skin, I studied aesthetics. Very soon came to realize, for women's health and hormones, you also need the nutritional side, you need the lifestyle medicine. So I went back to university and studied nutritional science. And that's really what gave me the such the deep interest in hormones and what happens in a woman's body throughout her life. And in particular, I focus on women 40 plus, midlife, menopause, all of that piece, because it's a big transition for a woman. And there's so many things that can, happen in the body. So I'm really talking, and I wrote my own book to really get the information out there to let women know that there is so much that you can do to make yourself feel better during this time in life.
Yes, and Miss Allison, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. Thank you. So today let's talk about your book. The title Promise Magnificent is not a word most people associated with menopause. What is the core philosophy behind choosing this word, and how can women refrain this transition from a decline to ascent?
But the reason I use magnificent was because there's so much negativity around menopause. It is getting better, but there is a lot of negativity, doom and gloom around menopause. And what we have to think of is that it is actually a totally natural phase in a woman's life. It's part of nature, what our bodies go through. Every single woman on the planet will go through this transition. And, it's actually backed by science that if you try to have a more positive outlook on things in general, it makes you feel better. It reduces stress. So this book is giving you the tools and the information so you can have a magnificent menopause. So you can really improve your experience through this transition in life. And it can be very tough for women. Some women just glide through. What I want to get across in this book is practical, easy solutions. Because when I did research before I started writing, all women said to me was, just tell me what to do. I haven't got the time or the energy to read loads and loads and loads of academic information. Just tell me what to do and why it will help. And that really is what this book is about. It's my 35 years of working in this field really put into one book and finding, seeing what works in my clinical practice with women, in real life, what actually makes a difference is in this book. So it's like a manual really on how to have a magnificent menopause, how to uh, navigate your way through this transition in life. So you can just kind of dip in and out of it depending on, maybe you're not sleeping. You can read this chapter on sleep, or maybe you're finding it. Maybe you just put a bit of weight on. You can read that chapter. So it's a very in-depth book, but very easy to read.
In the book, indeed, you call it a straightforward guide. What is the biggest source of confusion or myth you wanted to cut through for women feeling overwhelmed by conflicting information?
Yeah, that's a great question because there is so much information. Obviously, it depends on where you live in the world, but there is a lot of information in some countries now where it's gone a bit too far. There's a lot of misinformation. So, what I want to get across to women in my book is that it's evidence based. Everything, there's references there. Everything that is in this book has up to date studies to back the information up. So when, even though it says straightforward, it's straightforward in a way that you can implement it into your life easily, but it is backed up by evidence and by science. And what I would say to women is always, be careful about the information that, whether you hear it on social media or whatever, that it is actually credible, because there is, like I say, quite a lot of misinformation going out, on all social media and everywhere really, that has no evidence, has no science to actually back up the facts that a lot of people are saying. So I wanted to make this straightforward, but also back it with evidence-based science.
Interesting, Miss Allison. The identify chef menopause often coincides with the other major life changes like empty nesting or career shift. How does your book help women navigate not just the physical symptoms, but those profound identity shifts that emerge with a stronger sense of self?
Yeah, there's a lot happening during this time in a woman's life, and like you say, it doesn't just, it's not just the physical symptoms. You can feel anxious, you can actually suffer from depression, you can feel that you're not as tolerant as you used to be, and and on top of that, you've got life, haven't you? I mean, life can be very stressful. A career, family at home, maybe your parents are aging, and you're needing to look after them more. So what this book gives you is solid advice on how to manage, things like, if you're feeling overwhelmed, what can you do? Something as simple as doing some deep breathing. It might sound very basic, but deep breathing is fantastic to really reset the nervous system. So it's got many, many pieces of advice in there on what you can actually do. And there's one section which I put in, which a lot of my ladies clients said to me, you have to put a section in on how can I talk to, like, my partner, my friends, my family members, people that are close to me about menopause, because a lot of people just think I'm making it up. Oh, what's wrong with you today? You're feeling moody, or oh, why don't you want to do that? Why do you look so sad? And so this book gives you tips, even gives you like suggestions of what you can actually say to approach this subject, so you can talk about it with your partner, or the people that are close to you, so they understand what you're going through. They don't, you're not making it up, it is actually happening. But it can be hard for people to approach this subject. They don't quite know how to go about it. So there is information in the book about how to go about approaching it.
And Miss Allison, for the woman who is apprehensively approaching this phase, what is your most compelling message of hope about what can be on the other side?
This is, life is amazing, isn't it? I mean, I always think, you should, don't regret getting older, because it's a privilege denied to many people. This is a transition. Okay, you might have symptoms, it might be quite tough at some times, but it's part of life. Once you come through the menopause transition and you're in what we call postmenopause, which is another phase of life, but it can be fantastic and really enjoyable. You're still you. It's just that you need to look after yourself a little bit more. Knowledge is power. When you understand what's happening and you really know that, okay, I can do this, what is available to me now, so I can understand and I can do these things to feel better. That empowers you and gives you the knowledge and the strength, to go through this transition. But when you're younger, right, I understand you're not going to be totally thinking about menopause the whole time, but it would be good to inform yourself so you know what to expect, so you know how you can prepare your body. There is a chapter in the book called What I Wish I'd Known When I Was 30, about menopause, because how you go into menopause, how your health is, how you look after yourself, even before perimenopause, which is the first phase of the transition, can have a huge impact on how you experience it. Um, Health wise, it really can have an impact on symptoms as well.
Miss Allison, tell us, beyond hot flashes, what is surprising or rarely discussed symptoms of hormonal shift that you address, and what is your key strategy for managing it?
There are so many different symptoms. It's very individual, and the list just goes on. I hear new ones all the time of what women are experiencing. A very common symptom that I hear a lot in my clinic is weight management. Women all of a sudden just doing the same things, eating the same, exercising, doing everything they should, but they develop fat around the abdomen, around the, like we call, like, belly area. This is quite a common thing for menopausal women. Another symptom that I see a lot, which actually it seems to be increasing, is anxiety. That feeling of feeling very anxious all the time. And these are women that were never anxious before. They didn't suffer from any of those sort of things. So as far as what you can do, I mean, that's a huge question, because you could talk about weight management in menopause for days. But one of the first things I would say to women is really, excuse me, really, sit down and just think, okay, what am I putting on my plate? What am I actually eating every day? Because there's a lot of things that come in to our diet that we're not always aware of, like
Definitely.
ultra processed foods.
Mm-hmm.
Cutting down on sugar, making sure that your blood sugar is balanced. All of these things are really crucial when we're looking at weight management. Anxiety, it's really looking at what triggers you. Stress management, all of these things feed into anxiety. And of course, talking to a professional, getting professional help is also very important. You don't have to do this on your own.
Definitely ask for help if you need help, people. That is a crucial thing to do. Brain fog is a major concern for many. What does your book recommend as the most effective dietary and lifestyle strategies to reclaim sharp and mental focus and memory?
Yeah, brain fog. That's a very common symptom. When it comes to nutrition, we want to make sure that we're getting omega-3 fatty acids. I mean, brain health, cognitive health, due to the decline in hormones, can be affected. And research is really finding that we need omega-3 fatty acids for our, well, not just for cognitive health, for many other things, but that is very important for brain health and helping, focus, brain fog. Omega-3 fatty acids you can find in oily fish, things, like salmon, mackerel, herring. If you don't eat animal products, you can find it in like certain nuts and seeds, or you can use like algae supplementation that contains omega-3. But omega-3 is very important for brain health. The B vitamins also, particularly B12 and B6, very important for our cognitive health, for women as we go through menopause. And also antioxidants. Um, these really help, like what we call phytonutrients, the color, making sure you've got a lot of color on your plate, lots of wonderful fruits and vegetables, because the more variety that we can eat, the better that is for our overall health and for our brain health. Things like berries, all those lovely red and the dark, deep blue colors like blueberries are fantastic for brain health. And protein is very important as well. And when it comes to environmental factors for brain health, making sure that you're, if you live in a city, because there's a lot to do with the environment, with pollution. If you can have, just try to occasionally get away to outside the city area, so you can get more out in nature, and then thinking about what you're actually applying to your body as far as products, skincare products, body lotions. All of these things can have an effect on our what we call our endocrine system, which is the system that produces hormones, and can also have an effect on our cognitive health. So it's a very large area, but the best thing really to do is to get rid of all the junk food, the processed foods. I know that's a big thing because they're everywhere, and really looking at eating in balance and having lots of wonderful color and variety and healthy fats, your omega-3, your B vitamins, vitamin C, antioxidants. They're all the things that you really need to keep your brain happy.
Miss Allison, as an author, award-winning registered nutritionist, esthetician, what are your short-term and long-term goals?
Short term goals are, no, sorry, I'll start with long term. My long term goal is that I want to spread the message to as many women as possible worldwide. Because really, it's very simple. I just want, even if I can just help one woman a day to have a
Mm-hmm.
better life and support her and make her feel better, then that makes me happy. It makes my job worthwhile. I want to make women feel better, and I want women to know, as we age and we come into this stage of life and older, that you still can be fantastic and fabulous and lead an amazing life. I want you to keep your sparkle. That's my long-term goal. My short-term goal at the moment is that I'm launching what I call my Meno massage, because within my concept, being an esthetician as well, the treatments that you can do to really relieve menopausal symptoms and rebalance hormones is amazing, the effects. So as well as the nutrition and the lifestyle medicine, I'm actually in the process of launching a concept which is called Meno massages, which is particularly for women 40 plus that really want to just have a fantastic experience that is going to really recalibrate their hormones and reduce stress.
Well, good luck to your goals, Miss Allison, and looking forward for more success. And what would be your piece of advice for those people out there who want to be like you?
Never give up, and never set. Always push yourself. One of my um, rules to myself is that I have to push myself out of my comfort zone at least once a week. Um, Doing things that you maybe think, I don't think that doesn't, I don't know about that. I feel a bit uncomfortable doing that. Just say yes, because I can assure you that that makes you grow. And I've seen that in myself. It like escalates. The more you push yourself, the more you do, the more you get out there in front of people, the more successful you become. So say yes to things that make you feel uncomfortable.
Yes, say yes for everything, people. Challenge yourself. And
Yes.
Miss Allison, thank you for that advice. Can you please recommend a book or books that influence your journey?
Yeah, I love books. I read so many books, but there's actually two books in particular. The first, this was years ago. This was at the beginning of my journey. I read a book called Your Life in Your Hands by Professor Janet Plant. And this was a lady who had reoccurring breast cancer, and she wanted to. I mean, she was a professor, and she wanted to really dig deep and find out why this was happening to her. So, long story short, she basically completely overhauled her diet and her lifestyle, and the tumor shrunk. And I found that fascinating, and it really triggered me to understand that food isn't just fuel for your body; it's really information. It is so powerful what food can actually do to your body. So this really triggered me that what a strong message that is, that we as women, we choose what we eat. We can really choose how that affects our health. It's a very inspiring book, fascinating read, and full of very useful information as well. And then um, I mean, I read a lot of non-fiction books, but one book that I did read, again, this was years ago, which is a fiction book, which has always stayed with me, is The Alchemist,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with. Uh, this book is very uplifting, and it's all about finding your path, isn't it, and trusting yourself and making the changes that you need to live a full life, or the changes that you're meant to make to live a full life. Um, and it really stayed with me. I think the message is that the path that you're going on, you just sometimes have to have the courage to follow it, and it can change, and it really can uh, turn out completely differently than you thought it would, but it could be for the better. And I think this book really explains that, and it really reminded me that clarity can also come from when you slow down and listen, to what your body actually needs. But follow your path if that's what you feel you need to do.
Follow your path, people, and your passion for sure. So, Miss Allison, thank you for the two recommended books. So, let's talk about the community aspect. How important is finding a menopause tribe or community, and what advice do you hope for women seeking support and ditching the stigma?
It's important. Community is always important, isn't it? Connection is one of, when we look at lifestyle medicine, connection is one of the elements there. This is proven in research that we need support. We want to be able to talk about how we're feeling, and there's nothing better, is there? Sitting down with friends, sitting down with your girlfriends, and just being able to say, you know what, I feel awful. I've been having this all week. I've been arguing with my husband. I've been doing this and that. It's like a load lifted off you when you can have connection with people. So there is a lot of menopausal groups. I have my own Facebook group, um, which gives you support. There's women, all like-minded women in there that just want to be able to say what they want to be able to say and get the support that they need. I think chatting with other women that are going through the same experience is very, very beneficial. It's very healing. So find a group that resonates with you. That there certainly is a lot of different groups around now that you can join. And if you don't want to join a group, find a group of friends. Go and have an evening with your girlfriends. Once a month or once every couple of months, so you can just sit down and chat and laugh and discuss how you're feeling. Very, very important connection is absolutely. Um, Yeah, sorry. What what else did you ask me?
Definitely.
I've
and
forgotten what you asked at the end.
no worries, Miss Allison. Before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season. Abstract poetry in second season. I'm a book 101 review in fifth season too. Comedy 101 in second season. I'm a food 101 in fifth season as well. Geography 101, love letters, movie 101 review, music 101 in its fourth season, Science 101 and Sex 101 and second season Ama Baby Podcast, Law 101, Mental Health 101, and Bible Versus 101. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So Miss Allison, after reading your book and implementing its strategies, what is the one feeling or sense of capability you want every woman to walk away with?
Empowerment.
Hmm.
Empowerment, feeling like you got control of your health again and you know what to do to feel great.
Yes, definitely. Empowerment. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world to empower women all over the world. So, Miss Allison, can you please invite our listeners to support your debut book, any projects, or anything you want to promote on Book 101?
Anybody that wants to connect with me, if you go to my website, which is alisonbladh.com, that's probably the best place to get hold of me. I'm on all social media, Instagram, everything, so you can find all my contact details there. And have buy my book, have a read. It's very, very interesting, and really give you the tools that you need to feel better.
Yes, people, let's support Miss Alison Blood because if you support her for sure, more and more empowering books, empowering women all over the world. So, Miss Allison, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
More to come, people. See you soon.